So it's still yesterday, I guess, if that makes sense. Like, I ended yesterday's vlog about 5 hours ago, and I've just been sitting at my desk editing. And I should sleep because I'm tired. But I can't get this shot out of my head. We drove past this ghost town called Two Guns, and there was just this like bombed out almost building. And it's clear skies, or it was clear skies at sunset. And I really want to go try to shoot some stars. So I should be sleeping, but I'm gonna go out and shoot. Okay, so here's what's going down. I'm at the location, which isn't actually the ghost town, it's this old service station that's just full of graffiti, broken glass, and it's really cool. The stars are out in full force as far as I can see from inside the car, and honestly, I'm all sorts of creeped out here. We're not far from the interstate, but I don't know, there's just shadows, and it's eerie. It is actually like, I keep seeing things moving, and it might just be because I'm tired. But I want to get out and take a picture, and anyways, I'm gonna get through it. I'm gonna get the picture. I'm gonna put on my 14mm Rokinon lens and just go wide and just see how many stars I can get. As I mentioned, I'm tired. It's been a long day, so I'm going to just try to get 1 or 2 shots and get out of here, and not because I'm scared of ghosts. The traffic from the freeway is way too far away to be giving any sort of light to this building, but I need light on it so that the graffiti can show. So I'm not sure how I'm gonna make that work. Whether I can use my phone or maybe flash the headlights of the car or something like that. But I'm gonna try to make this work. I'm gonna give it a couple test shots, and then when I'm done shooting, I'll bring you back in here and we'll talk about this. So no word of a lie, I started hearing really scary sounds, and I grabbed my tripod, I chucked it into the back of the car, and I left. Oh man, it's so easy to freak yourself out. I'm sure it was just probably like maybe a dog, or I don't know, a coyote or something, but there was like this weird whining sound, and I'm sorry I'm driving because I'm freaked out. But I'm just on like a side road, so don't worry. I'm gonna pull over now that I feel like I'm out of the ghost zone. Oh man, that was freaky. Anyways, I think that the photos came out really cool. I think they came out awesome. But what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go to bed. And then I'm showing Matt around, landlopers.com if you haven't been following. I'm showing Matt around this area because this is like my de facto home. My parents spend the winter in Arizona, so I'm here almost every winter. I spend a month or 2 every year here exploring, so I know this area. Matt's never been out west like this, so I'm gonna show him Sedona in the morning. And then midday, I'm gonna take you into the edit room, and I'm going to edit the photos that I just took that are hopefully good. We came to a place called Slide Rock State Park, and I'm pretty glad we did, because this was one of the locations I thought about coming to shoot this morning for sunrise instead of going to shoot stars last night, before ultimately deciding that I wanted to go shoot stars. And I found out this place is actually closed at sunrise, so you can't get in. So, good decision. And it is a cool place. They call it Slide Rock because some of these rocks are so smoothed out by the waters over the years that when the waters are high enough, you can literally sit down and slide through them like a natural water slide. So a cool spot. So I took Matt to Red Rock Crossing, which is one of my favorite places to shoot Sedona. It's just a beautiful spot, but I've never been here when it was really lush and green. And it's beautiful, the lush and greenness, but the lush and greenness is also like blocking all the views. So it's kind of funny. I think we're gonna go try a viewpoint and then maybe go visit that church and then cruise back. Okay, I am editing. I'm editing my photos. I finally imported them. I kind of changed my workflow just slightly in that I'm now dumping all my photos onto my hard drive and then I'm kind of editing off of my SSD just because I feel like I've got these SSDs, they're amazing, these SanDisk SSDs, so why not take full advantage of them? So I'm now editing straight off of my SanDisk SSD. I'm going to take it over to my computer. I'm usually really good at importing my photos, at moving them all onto my hard drives every day, but this trip has been so busy and we've been spending so much time in the car navigating and stuff like that it's been a couple days. So let me drag you down to wherever we are, to Flagstaff, to the stars. So far on this trip, if you're curious, so far on this trip here, this Route 66 trip, I've taken 400 total photos. I think is what I saw, which actually it's kind of high for me, and I think it's just because I've been shooting a lot of stuff in the middle of the day, and when I do, I'm trying harder, I think, to work composition. So yeah, quite a few. Now here's the photos from this morning. This is basically what I did. It was kind of, maybe not strange, it was just the way it had to be done. Is I had the car on and I would press the lock button on the car and it would flash the headlights on and off as I locked the car, and that provided me enough light in the foreground of the image. It lights up the gas station. It was like totally perfect. It just worked. But it brought up too much light right in the foreground here. You can see it's taking forever to load, and I'm sorry about this, but this is just because I have 7 programs open, including the one that's recording the screen. But in general, when I shoot stars, I don't really edit that hard. And to be honest, most of my photos, I don't edit that hard because I find that I like things to look the way I saw them with my eyes. I don't like to go crazy and do too much to an image. And I don't edit a lot of stars in general. And I know that there's better ways to do this. I know that, but this is just the way I'm gonna do it. So let me guide you through the quick edit that I'm gonna do to this image. The main reason I'm showing you guys this is because I just wanted to show you that I'm gonna clean this up, this foreground, because it's just way too bright and that blotchy spot is way too distracting. So I'm just gonna use a grad filter. I'm just gonna go like this. I'm going to turn it off iris enhance to exposure. I'm going to drop it down like maybe a full stop. And you can see all of a sudden that just cleans up that foreground. It's not bad having a little bit of light there, so I don't mind that. I just didn't like it totally blown out. I usually don't do a lot of vibrance in my star photography, but this building's so colorful that I'm going to bring it up. And then in stars, I find that it's all about bringing up the whites. You see how much that brings out the stars? Pull it down, and then you bring it back up to like 44 and it really brings them out. And then you got your highlights as well that you can bring up and it brighten everything up again. I might need to darken the front a little bit more. We can do that by going back to this, clicking on that, and dropping the highlights down. There we go. And then I'm gonna pump the clarity a little bit, but I'm never sure how to go with clarity until I play with it, because sometimes it looks good soft, sometimes it looks good a little bit edgier. I think in this situation a little bit edgier works well. And you've also got dehaze, which works really nice in stars. Dehaze is one of those things, and a lot of things in Lightroom are like this, but if you go crazy with dehaze, it looks terrible. If I jump to 42, it usually just makes everything look really grainy and it doesn't look great. So I use dehaze really sparingly. I'll also drop the blacks probably a little bit to bring out the contrast of the sky. A lot of people will come now into the Milky Way here and paint it with the adjustments brush and add more clarity and contrast and really bring it out. And that's something I might do in a later edit, but to be honest, this is how quickly I edit photos. When you take so many images every day, you don't spend that much time with images. A lot of my colleagues, they spend entire days with images. I don't do that. I'm really quick. I just bust through them. But I'm happy with this image. I think maybe it could be a little bit brighter in general, and maybe there's a couple more adjustments I would do, but I'm happy. I want to take you to a different image that I shot later, and this is the first time I'm seeing these images on the laptop, by the way, because I wanted to try to build a foreground into this shot by using this crinkled earth, but I think that it was just too close to the car, as you can see here. But you can see that I have this, I guess it's the parking lot, the edge of the parking lot, which is totally crumbling and kind of awesome. And I think actually looking at it now, this is probably the image I'm going to use. The one thing I noticed when I was shooting this, or when I got it home, is that I really wished I would have put this triangle right in the middle of the frame. The other thing is it's out of focus a little bit, just because of you're shooting stars, so your focus is at infinity. I wish I would have shot two exposures, one to focus way back there, and then one in the foreground. You can see the focus starts to be in focus about here, and then the building is totally sharp, as are the stars. But I should have probably shot one image focused in on the building and one on the foreground. I should have also probably set up so that it was angled, so that this line right here was straight down there like this. But I think there was a reason for it. I think there was a bunch of cars from the highway and it was distracting. But I'm gonna clean up this image a lot, and I think this is the one I'll probably share on social media. We made it to the Grand Canyon, and I'm not gonna film that much because I've been here now like 3 times in the past 6 months. In fact, photographers are gonna kill me because I'm at the Grand Canyon. I don't even have my camera gear with me. But Matt's never been here, so it's his first time. He's excited for his first view, I think. And yeah, so I'm literally just gonna show you some B-roll since it's already been a long vlog so far. So Grand Canyon B-roll coming up. Pretty grand. Pretty grand. This day has been, it's been grand. Days don't get better than this. You get photography, a nice location, and then a little bit of travel. And yes, I'd like to get a little bit more photography in, but it's also good to just take days off from photography and enjoy everything. I think as a photographer, sometimes, oh, look at that bee. There's a bee right in the frame. As a travel photographer, I think we can get really caught up in constantly having this need to capture everything we see. And I think it's really important as travel photographers to every now and then just stop and look around and enjoy the view and leave the camera bag at home. And I think it's really valuable, and today's been really good. So I'm happy, and tomorrow we're pushing on Route 66 heading towards California. I'll see you there. Peace.